are sitting down with the best. It's 94 feet, nothing more, nothing less. Started from the bottom, now I made it past the steps. But you gotta have a vision like, what's your triple threat? 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of 94 Feet with Coach JT. As always, do me a favor. Please leave a like in the comment section. Subscribe to the pod. Visit 94feetwithcoachjt.com for your merch, latest episodes, some news, stuff like that, man. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been supporting the pod, who've been networking, man. Shout out to my dog, Chris Haynes, man. I just got off the Big 3 little run in Houston a couple weeks ago. Got to interview Ice Cube. It was dope. It was fire. Again, shout out to you, Chris. I appreciate you, man, for putting me on. Man, today, it's been a minute. Trying to get this guy. We've been trying to link this up for a while. We'll get some good conversation. Let me read a short bio from my guy sitting next to me, man. Today we're joined by Sport Barkley, a lifelong athletic learner, respected leader in the world of basketball officiating with over 20 years of experience as a basketball official in the Sacramento area, including 17 years at the collegiate level. Also, he's officiated everything from high school state championships to junior college NAIA games and even men's and women's professional league sports basketball as well. One of his career highlights, you guys, includes officiating the last game of the Ball Brothers state championship run at the Arco Arena. Currently, he serves as the co-group leader of the NCOA and an 80-year-plus training association supporting over 275 officials in the Sacramento area alone. Beyond basketball, he brings expertise in operational efficiency, training, and leadership development across both nonprofit and for-profit spaces. When he's not on the court leading officials, Sport is also passionate about reading, writing, spoken word, and engaging with his community, man. Sport, appreciate you tapping in.
What's up, man? Oh, man, I'm happy to be here, man.
Yes, sir,
Definitely
man.
happy to be here.
Appreciate you, man, for stopping in. Known each other a long time, man, from different aspects of the game, but also in general, just for yourself, though, man, before you get into officiating, man, we talk about basketball offline a little bit right now. Give me a little about the basketball background and history, man, and in sport in general, man. What drew you to the game and what kept you around it, and then now the shift part a little bit to what you're doing something totally different than playing basketball.
It is a little different. Obviously, I've been around the sport my whole life. My mom named me Sport, and not after, like actually the moment I was born. So I don't know if I lived up to that name, thereafter. But I did everything: football, basketball, baseball, soccer. In high school, I played basketball and baseball. I was really good in baseball. I should have stuck with that. But you know how it is.
A lot of us should.
Jason Kidd was my favorite player, and I was like, oh, man, I can make it. Like, I'm going to pattern my game after him.
Yep.
And then after I graduated, I did men's league, what normal hoopers do. You do a men's league. You win a championship thinking you somebody. And then I was just like, man, I don't know what else, there is to do. And my mom was just kind of like, why don't you become a ref? And I was like, nah, that ain't, what it is. And one day she took me out there and I tried, and 2 minutes into it, I was like, I like this. Oh,
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I like this.
I got to ask you, though, during your playing career, how was your communication with officials as a player? How was that?
I didn't talk. So I was one of those guys, like, I didn't talk. You couldn't you couldn't say stuff to me. You couldn't bother me. I literally played like Jason Kidd. Like, go watch him, and then you go watch me play. I patterned my whole game. I just would up the court, pushing the ball, trying to get it to my people. I didn't say anything. And so I had great relationship with ref because I never said nothing. I just sat my butt down, tried to play good defense, try to run teams. It was when I became a ref then the communication really, really came out. And then I started understanding how valuable communicating with players actually can be to helping your game. So that's something I learned like once I became a ref, actually, which was kind of crazy.
When moms get you actually to make this transition, right, you said you go out there, you like it. What about the game, about officiating at that point kind of kept you locked in? Because immediately you said, oh, I like this. What was that? What kind of, give me some information or give me some things as an internal feeling, or you was like, no, I can.
I think it was an internal feeling. Like I love basketball, and I just wanted to stay close to it. And I'm a I got OCD in certain aspects of life, and so I'm trying to do the best I can. And I don't want to call myself a perfectionist, but I'm always trying to push. And the concept of trying to be the very best ref I can be, not miss any calls, not be in the wrong place, always have the right thought or response. I mean, that challenged me in a way that I was like, ooh, I appreciate that. And then it kept me close to basketball, which is really what I wanted to do anyways. I didn't want to play.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, well, yeah, why not be a referee? And I don't know. It's just, you know what I mean? Like the spirit, the mojo, something just sparked inside of me, and I was like, this is it.
So, like,
This is it.
as you know, growing up, man, we put these hours in. We clocking hours. We grind, not knowing if it's at the park, if it's in a practice with friends, or if it's at home dribbling the basketball. We talk about unseen hours, right? You didn't get where you are without the experience and the time put in, but just starting out at the early age. What age did you start officiating?
I started right around 23, 24, right before I bought my first house.
Pretty much could be you're a younger official.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at that age, our energy, our motor was different too. How much time was you putting in? Were you? I mean, how do you get better as an official outside of actually getting the reps in? Now I know you do training, but at that age, what were you doing to get better or kind of learn your craft more?
I wasn't doing nothing to get better. I was just making money. Like, I joined them. I'm just saying, like, that's what I got into. It's just to make money, and it was good side money. I mean, it was
for
really,
a 24-year-old, right?
Oh man, to be able to get paid cash, put that money in my pocket, and I can go out and do something.
Right.
Every weekend I can go out and make money like that. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. It wasn't honestly until I had went somewhere. I went to the Adidas 64, which is a big tournament they do in the summertime. I went there and I've got some exposure there, and there were some higher level referees that was like, "Hey man, you not taking this serious?" And I'm like, "No, I'm enjoying the money." And
Somebody
it was
push
like,
you on game a little bit.
You got something, you might actually want to cultivate it though. And up until then, I just was happy. And so after that, it became kind of a deep dive. I found a mentor, and then I really started getting into it, and I've absolutely put in my 10,000 hours now.
Yeah, I mean, and that with this thing we call life, whatever it is, you can tell when the hours are put in, things shift, or you get more relaxed, you get more confident in what you're doing. Because I'm like, say you ref that Ball Brothers game, different stuff like that. Those situations you can't really practice.
No.
However, you learn from those experiences, stuff like that. Early on in the young officiating career, man, what was one thing that you say you might have struggled at mightily that you need to improve on when you was young in it?
I think I didn't know the rules, and that was the biggest thing. Like I was a decent play caller, but I didn't know how to really communicate my understanding of basketball and the rules and why. And so when coaches would ask questions, in, of course, the most politest way possible, because that's how they ask questions. Hey,
man, no shade over here, bro. No shade.
I struggled a little bit with how to communicate.
Okay.
And that was probably my strongest place. I had to get into the rules, because I realized I can't communicate something I don't understand. And until I understand it, and once I understand it, now I can communicate it. It's not a problem, And so that was the biggest thing is learning the rules so I can communicate them.
As far as on the court at a young age, man, was you beating the players down the court?
I was. Hey, look, I got some friends that would say I got to be one of the fastest referees. You know what I mean? And I
got to get in the end.
There's something inside of me. There's a passion, right? Because I'm competitive. So I still like winning everything. And my daughter want to play me in Mario Brothers right now. It's going down. You know what I mean? It's going down. Yeah. And so, there is a passion in me, because I want, more than anything, I want the players, coaches, everybody to know that I respect the opportunity that I'm out here. So I'm going to work hard, because you're out, well, at least you should be working hard. Mm-hmm. You're out here working hard. Yeah. So, yes, I'm going to run. I'm going to try to get to where I need to be. And frankly, I still want to be able to prove to myself, that I can still run with these young people. You know what I mean? So, maybe it's pride, maybe it's ego. I don't know. But
I've seen a couple of quick sprints. I'm like, are you still? All right, man. I know we're in our elder age right now. I'm like, that man still want to get up the court faster than everybody, man. But that's a credit to you and your work ethic, though, too. At what point, and you talked about when you went to the camp and somebody told you to take it a little more seriously, though. For you, though, when did you actually know, like, now this is my other career type thing? This is something I could do for my own business, for myself type thing like that. At what point did you get to where, I'm going in, I'm finna start adjusting? Because obviously, man, you have went levels.
Yes.
You were running camps. You were official. They can call you for official. You got connects like that. I can email you all the time if something go bad, or if I got a question, man. But that wasn't the start. But then when the point did you shift even more? Like, nah, I can run this thing. So
it was a couple of shifts. That Adidas 64, that kind of was a spark, because I wasn't, and when they said that, I was like, So I went and found a mentor, and that, started getting me into it. And then once I was working with my mentor, I remember one day, my mentor being Shelly Rusty, as you know, she was just like, Sport, you know what your region needs leadership. That's what it needs. It needs leadership. And I was like, what you mean? What you mean? Yeah, we got leadership. And I didn't understand. But when she said that, I took some time and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we need someone to be an example to say, hey, this is how and why we need to do it. And it's bigger than the game. It's not at all about us. And so I started working with and asked people to come to my mom's house. My mom's always been a supporter of mine. Come to my mom's house, and we just gonna spend Monday nights just going over rules. We spend it for 2 hours, and I had a whole bunch of college folks coming through here. Yeah. And so that experience for like 3 summers in a row, and them committing themselves every Monday for like 3 summers consistently. I had like 25 referees, collegiate referees that were coming through.
Oh, wow.
When that happened, that kind of spoke to me and said, okay, one, maybe there's a space that people, even referees, they appreciate it. And two, if they appreciate it, how much more, can really be done with this if I really lean into that.
Right.
And so a couple years later, I had a little one and wanted to pull back a little bit. And next thing I know, an opportunity to become the group leader kind of popped up, and I was like, this is that moment. You know what I mean? This is when I was talking about stuff.
Yeah.
This is the moment, and I just kind of stepped into it and been running with it.
That's what's up, man. The game has changed as we've seen it, right? I mean, we grew up in different areas. I've coached in different areas. You refereed in different areas. Overall, what would you say as far as the communication? Since we talked with this, how's the communication prior to you getting to where you're at now with players, coaches, and officials to now players, coaches, and officials? What's the big differences? What are some things that have definitely kind of stuck out? Good, bad, ugly, whatever.
Interesting. I think from a communication standpoint, I think the biggest thing is that I always tell referees, we're not beat cops. You know what I mean? We're not working the street. You know what I mean? Cleaning up the streets, right?
Right.
Like it's you've got to come in with a level of empathy when you want to communicate with somebody, right? I try to walk into every conversation like I might be wrong. Now, again, I didn't say I am wrong or I even think that I'm wrong, but I try to enter it. And I think just the general social communication where people are not as patient, people think they're better communicators than they actually really are. And then I don't know that people are always listening to understand so that they can provide a response, right? Like refs get caught up in the presentation that comes with questions, right? And I always say, like, what are they actually asking you? Like, I hear the presentation,
for sure,
but did you actually figure out what are they actually trying to get at? Because if you can answer that question, regardless of the presentation, you'll be able to put that situation to bed real easy.
For sure.
Right? That's kind of been, so it's just us learning how to communicate and being patient. It's tough as a referee because everybody yelling at you. And so you feel a certain kind of way. But you got to kind of be able to kind of remove yourself emotionally from it and realize, you know what? I'm just here to try to communicate certain things. And if I can do it in a way where you can understand it better, it's going to make your basketball experience, our basketball experience, so much better.
That is definitely true. I from experience, but I will say this for you, though, too. Since day one, it's been that to help me be a better coach. Like, do this, say this, ask your question. And I'm not, man, this is year 18 now in it. Like, since I got to college, and definitely different. Even I find myself telling these newer coaches, hey, you might want to just relax and just ask the question. And everything, excuse me, sir. Man, you get a lot further in that on the court, too. Right or wrong, I understand it. I know from experience, man, but it is true because you want to just, in that moment, there's a lot of stuff going on, multiple things going on. What have been some of your actual biggest challenges, though, currently in the state of basketball? Because I know you're still doing your job at a high level, but what is a big challenge right now that you're either still trying to navigate or help other officials learn, do something to kind of make the game experience better for them and the players as well?
Getting people to the point where they're comfortable with seeing themselves on film. That's a big thing, right? Like, you think you look a certain kind of way. You think you sound a certain kind of way, right? Just like your players. They're like, oh yeah, I was balling last night. Oh yeah, I was. Well, let's put in the film. Yeah. And the film is going to tell us exactly what's going on. So to get an official, again, it's tough because our vocation is one where people are always have an opinion about what you do
constantly
in the entire time and almost in nothing else, right? Like, no, you don't have 20 people outside waiting to be like, man, let me tell you about the podcast and how, right? But that's how it is as referee. It's everybody standing there. So to get people to a point where you can put on some film or you can get them to want to go out there and say, you know what, I want to see how I look. I want to see what I did. I want to see if I made any mistakes. Because we make them every game, regardless of what people say. getting them to that point, that's still the toughest challenge is getting. I mean, because it's like life. Who wants to sit there and turn the mirror around and
Look at themselves.
you know what I mean? You know, and so in refereeing, when everybody hollering, they definitely don't. But that's the challenge. And if you get them there, man, there's beautiful things that happen once they can see that.
Officiating is a team sport.
It is.
So you're not out there solo, right? You're not there solo. And I'm not sure how this works. I mean, I don't know. I know you may know some of your partners at times, but you don't get reps a lot together considering. I mean, maybe now so you get to pick certain games now or certain people, but early on, you're stuck with who you're stuck with.
Mm-hmm.
How did you be able to find a flow with somebody you've never worked with before in a game that's ever changing in emotion? How does that work? You guys kind of just got to talk before the game, or what do you guys group? What's that like?
You know, I really would say in officiating, all aspects of life, everything you've experienced really comes into play, right?
Mm-hmm.
All your communication skills, all your interpersonal skills, all your ability to be able to just kind of be a person with somebody. And so we have guides that you can use that talk about, hey, flow the conversation like this, or talk
Mm-hmm.
about these kind of things. I've been doing this long enough that honestly, a lot of ways I start is, how you doing today? What, is everything okay? You know, and anything happen? Because we could talk about, okay, secondary defenders and plays at the basket and RSBQ and, you know, hand checking.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't realize that, you know what, you just got into an argument with your significant other before you got here, so you're not even in an emotional, like going through all this ain't going to matter, because you're going to go out there and do something that we, and not you, we are going to have to deal with.
Right.
And I need to know that, like where your mind is, more than I need to walk you through all these things here today, if that makes sense.
It does too, and I just wonder how many other people have that conversation with these officials, because again, life does happen, right? And you can tell as a coach from my side, you can tell, oh, something else is off,
right?
So I'm like, whoa, like, you know, so but having that conversation, I'm sure could help. Not hinder, but suppress it or relax the official based upon the conversation. But everybody's approach may not be one of like you, man. That's definitely dope, because really, like you said, that's that empathy part before the game even start. I'm seeing what my partners got going on.
You'd be surprised that sometimes people will say stuff like, oh, man, you know, happened, or, oh, you know, my daughter, or you just be surprised sometimes. Right. And sometimes it's like, okay, cool. Like, let's work through that first.
That's dope.
We could talk about what we're going to do on the floor. I mean, if we need to. Matter of fact, we could talk about it out there if we need to.
During
honestly,
the flow, right?
Right. We could talk about it then. But I need to know where you mentally are, because if we're not in the right space,
it's gonna be a rough one.
We can go out there and do stuff that's gonna make this a very, very difficult experience for everybody.
That's what's up.
And you know what I mean? And that's not something that, you know, you guys don't enjoy, players don't enjoy, fans, nobody's enjoying that experience when it's not exactly what we want it to be.
And it's gotta be tough, like you say, that team aspect, because it's not just you.
Mm-hmm.
Each game, it could be 2 different games or whatever on a weekend, or different 2 games throughout the week. Every game you could have a different team. So those conversations almost got to be having that icebreaker should happen before every. Hey, how y'all doing today? What emoji y'all feeling like? What we doing? Like, okay, so we know what's going on, man.
It's true.
That's definitely dope. How's the difference in the 3-man and 2-man situation?
That is more of, and I know 3-person, most officials appreciate, you know, 3-person.
Okay. So is that one a little bit easier?
It requires more discipline.
Oh.
It requires more discipline. It's like anything, right? Like, if me and you is just playing the game, right? Okay. But now we add 6 other people in here. Okay, well, we got a lot more moving parts. Gotcha. And we can't just be doing what we were doing before, because that might now be interrupting the flow with everybody else. And so you have less to do, but it requires you to be more disciplined, because you got to do that, because that, if I do this, then that tells the other partner I don't have to worry about that, right? But if you're not doing the small thing we need you to do, now I got to do my thing, and I got to now start worrying about your thing. And the more things you can add into an official's mind, you know, the more opportunity there is for something maybe that's not going to go right. We want to get to the point where we're like football player, or like players, that we're just reacting. You know what I mean? You know, we're not in a space where we're trying to figure stuff out. No, we need to be calm in the storm. To be honest with you, at all times. That's
what's up, man. I hear the communication, or, you know, baseline, or I sometimes hear different officials, veterans maybe adjusting other officials to get to a certain side
100%.
On the fly, because they're even learning on the fly
100%.
while you're doing it. So the communication, and at least that's happening, because sometimes officials don't say too much to each other at all.
I've been on a game. I'm just look, everything happens in basketball. It's just like it's your job. Man, you got people at your job sometimes that you and so and so. Every time y'all meet in the lunchroom, y'all ain't having no deep conversations because it's cool, but it ain't cool. Like so it's the same thing in basketball. But we can't go nowhere. So I might be on the game with somebody that maybe we don't see life the same, or we things that they do. I'm not crazy about. But none of that matters because right now, for these 4 quarters, we got to figure this out. And so I've been out there where you and your partner aren't exactly on the same page, and that's tough. And it's tough for everybody, to be honest with you.
Man, what would you say was your aha, I made it moment in this thing, man? Because, I mean, the resume, that was a brief resume, I know, but you got a lot of games in, man. What point, what moment, man, when you was like, this is what I worked for, or this is what I never thought could happen, and I'm here?
There's a number one. Working that state championship of the Ball Brothers. I mean, that was, the hype and the Ball Brothers, and that's my first state championship game ever.
The first
that
one
was
is the big
my first one, and it's the biggest one, right? And it's like
Yeah.
Everybody watching. You know, and I this as a referee at the end of the year, all referees is watching. And not everybody is like,
yeah,
go, right? Some people are like
critiquing,
you know, and so again, this is my first moment,
That's
right?
big,
And so so that was a big one. I had an opportunity I had an opportunity to work a JC State championship game, and that was another big moment because it's like to be one of 3 officials of, you know,
statewide, right?
Right, you know, to make it and to work the last game at the junior college. You know, players work their whole life to get to that. So to get there as an official, that was probably another big one. And then I've had an opportunity to do like some pro-am stuff where I've had an opportunity to work either Gus's pro-am out here or in the Bay Area, and you work people who have been in the league or who are trying to get to the league. Working those kind of people, it's like that's a confidence booster because it's like, okay, if I can work this game and they not on me all, you know what I mean? They not, hey ref, what's good? What you doing? Hey, what? You know, then that means I'm doing okay, right? At least they're buying what I'm selling, if that makes sense. And so, I mean, I've experienced so many different, you know, had a lot of different crazy things, but that Adidas tournament was a big one. I mean, that was a big one early on.
So being athletes ourselves, not even former, still athletes, because that's what we're still.
I'm still an athlete.
But you know that pregame, that game thing was internal, man. Do you get hyped, energetic, nervous, little stomach?
I still get nervous.
Okay, yeah, because
I mean, get nervous.
As a coach, it don't go away. I'm like, every win, lose, or draw before the game, it's like, here it go. But I think that still made me know that's why I still do it. 'Cause I love the game, though. Win, lose, draw, it's like I still get the shit. Sometimes depend big game, rivalry games like that. It's like it's internal. How, officials get that too?
I get it.
Yeah.
And when I work with people and I be like, how you feeling? And they be like, I'm cool. I'm like, you lying. You're lying to me. Because again, I've been there.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. It's like, you know, when you've been there, it's like, look, it's okay if you get a little nervous. And I tell them that, you feel nervous? I'm nervous. You ain't nervous?
Bro,
and they be like,
no, y'all have.
Well, maybe a little bit. Dang, okay, now we being real now,
you
know?
The course, big game, lights.
How can you not, right? I mean, you know, and you
Loud.
work so hard. Like players, they work so hard to get those last. How can you as a referee work hard to be one of the last people at whatever level and act like you can go in, I'm just calm? No, sometimes it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But for me, I always tell people my first whistle is what used to do it for me. Now, I've done this so many times. As soon as I get out there, you know, I can calm down. But usually my first whistle, I want to make sure I get that first whistle is a good one. And not some old, like, what? But the one where grandma is like, thank you, baby. Yep. You got to stop fouling him, right? Because then that one, everybody can calm down. Everybody goes, okay, we get it. Yep, we in the game. Hey, back up, adjust.
Got you.
Good work, ref, right? Everything just calms. So that's my thing, is to get that first good one.
Yeah.
And then everything calms me down.
Speaking of good ref, you talked about communication.
Mm-hmm.
How important is the communication for coaches? Let's go coaches and officials first. How important is that for a flow and for just the decision making for any officials, right? The coach and the officials have at least a somewhat aligned communication started. That's on a good level. That first one is a good one too, right? I know sometimes, hey, you know what? All right, where'd he get him at? And the communication is there. It's like, okay, he talked with me. We can talk back.
100%. I've always said this, and I don't know if this is my philosophy, but I've been saying it. I didn't hear people. Is I think by and large what coaches argue about,
Mm-hmm.
they're largely right about.
Mm-hmm.
How they go about that argument, they're largely wrong.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
if we as officials can learn how to, again, answer questions based off what are they actually trying to get at.
That's what you said.
Like, and I know it's hard when it's like, hey, boo, boo, boo. I get it. But you got to learn how to just get to what is it they're actually trying. And so the better we are in, I think, in trying to help educate by answering the question, not as some kind of referee lawyer with some jargon that y'all look, coach, he was just a little late to the spot. Coach, you know what I mean? If he gets there and just goes vertical, I'm good. You know, instead of, well, you know, by rule, you know what I mean? They started the habitual shooting motion before and coach is like,
I don't even
what?
know all that means.
I just want to know what happened on the play. Why did you blow the whistle? If that makes sense.
Hey, so I got to ask this question, man. I get this all the time. No, the coaches do too.
See, now it's getting real. Now the podcast's getting real.
They give it to me. Well, I must have missed it. I didn't see it. Over and over and over again. I didn't see it. I missed that one, coach. Yeah, I know, because everybody else heard it, and we heard it. But, and again, now, I just go sit down. I'm like, okay, all right, thank you, keep moving. Before, I was like, but then it happens, you know. That's not something that you guys are prompted to say, is it?
Well, we tell people that you got to be honest, right? Don't act like you don't make any mistakes. So if you make a mistake, to own it.
Okay.
However, we can't be making mistakes and owning them all game long, because then we're not building a level of confidence in the players and the coaches, and really
your team,
we're not as referee, we're not representing the game very well. So
for sure,
that's like one of those, pull that out your back pocket. You only supposed to, in case of emergency, break. That's when you're supposed to bring that one out.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to answer it. But if I'm saying that more than one time, then the reality is I'm not having a good game as an official, because it's like, okay, if I'm watching it and observing, now I'm thinking like, well, why are you not doing that? Are you not getting to the right space on time? Are you not looking at the right thing? Are we ball watching? You know, things that we're not supposed to do that kind of work against us.
Gotcha.
So there's a number of things that we got to work through.
All right, man. Got this question for you though. Officials, accountability. You gotta know what it's like, man. Because coaches, we get held accountable. Get you a T. I gotta sit. Some coaches that I've never been ejected. I don't plan on it. What about officials, man? How's that stuff handled as far as, you know, disciplinary actions, or just stuff being brought up as far as, you know, officiating, disciplinary stuff like that?
And I know this is a topic that we get asked questions about. And I'll try to work backwards a little bit. At the collegiate level, you work for a conference assigner. And so in that sense, they, quote unquote, hire you.
Gotcha.
Okay. And anytime you get hired by somebody, you know, there's certain things you have to be accountable for, you know, based off that relationship. At the high school level, everybody, in essence, volunteers, you know, and signed up. They're not completely volunteer because they have to pay a certain fee and stuff like that.
Right.
But it's kind of volunteer. So it's a bit trickier when you want to, say, hold an independent contractor accountable, if that makes sense, right? You know what I mean? It's like, well, how would you hold Uber available? You gonna say no, you can't do it? It's like, well, they're an independent contractor. They get to, if they don't want to work, they don't work. If they want to work, they can work.
Right.
And so it becomes a things where we'll try to work closely with the assigner if we see that somebody is not performing well, or we're getting reviews coming back that say that, hey, they're not handling either the level that they're getting, or they're not handling the things that they can handle. They're not handling those well, and we know they can do that. Then yeah, their level of game assignments, the type of game assignments, you know, could change, and could be different for them moving forward. But that's part of, again, my mission is to try to find people who want to be here for the right reasons, who want to be here because they care. And yeah, I mean, the money is cool, don't get me wrong, but they want to be here because they care about basketball, and they want to be a good steward over how this experience is, you know, in the Sacramento region.
Take me right to the next question, man. Just if somebody's interested though in doing this, where they find you at, where they get information at, how do they go about applying, who should they be talking to get their foot in the door, get started with this process? Because as we know, it's a shortage, or time is changing too. Some are retiring out or shifting something different now. But through this, hopefully some people who really are interested, also former players, somebody else who wants, like, you know what, I want to still be around the game. I think I know something. How should they go about doing it?
One of the best ways to do is to go to our website, www.ncoanorth.com. ncoanorth.com. You can go there. There's a little QR code on the front page. You'll click on that, and then it'll ask for some basic information, your name, your phone number, what area you live in. You fill that information out, then somebody will follow up with you. It kind of comes to a number of people.
Okay.
Someone will reach out to you and follow up and say, hey, we hear that you might be interested, and then we'll get you going in the pipeline. Some people come have all kind of different backgrounds when they come in here. Some people have done maybe a little stuff. Maybe some people did some intramurals. Maybe sometimes people are just brand new to it altogether. We'll get you squared away and bring you in there for the high school. We're just about getting ready to start. We got to put everybody that's new through 18 hours of instruction.
Okay.
And so we offer Zooms in class, and in-person instruction, things of that nature. Gotcha. But if you sign up, go to the website and sign up, somebody will follow up with you in that regard. I mean, you can always reach out to me if you need it to me and call me directly.
For sure.
We care. We do need more people. We do want former athletes.
Okay.
We want women. Especially. I can't tell you how impactful it is to have a female official and to have them go out and work a women's game, and the players are just like, what? There's women refs? It has an impact. What we do is bigger than just calling fouls and violations, right? We spend more time with these athletes, really, in a lot of sense, more than they spend time with maybe their spiritual leaders or a lot of different kind of people. So every aspect of who we are comes across and is impacting the people, how we carry ourselves, how we communicate. And so we just want people that care. And I think former athletes on both sides, they care a lot. I'm not suggesting that people ain't, that didn't play it, don't care like that, but I've sensed it. You can see it in people who've been an athlete. They really, really want to, give back and make sure this thing is kept and it can grow in the right way. So
it's a need. So you know what I'm saying, you got to please tap in, man. All right, man. At the end of all this episode, man, you know what a triple threat is: dribble, pass, and shoot. However, man, I flipped it. Shout out to my boy. I was giving him a shout out, Dwight Taylor, man. I need your personal triple threat, right? 3 things that you personally kind of, when they see you walking to a gym, somebody see you walking to the floor, like, you know what? Oh, sports finna give me these 3 things. Give me your personal triple threat on how you maneuver in that officiating space, in that world, in that business, so people know, like, okay, yep, we good tonight. We got one tonight. Because I know as a coach, sometimes people come in, I'm like, oh, we good. We're gonna have a good one now. I'm gonna have to do a little talking, but it's gonna be a good game called, or the injury's gonna be good. What about you? What's your personal triple threat, man?
I think first thing is how you present yourself.
Okay.
Right? I try to come to the game in a professional manner. Now I don't always wear suits and stuff like that, but people do know I do come with it, and so I think how you come to the game and how you come dressed, I think is an important part of it.
Sure.
I think being in a positive attitude. Just not coming in there in some kind of mood. I just come in, I have a smile on my face, greeting people. Hey, how you doing? No problem. Thank you. How you? Just be that way. And then third, I work hard. Mm-hmm. And I think if anybody has ever saw me referee, one thing you always say is, I give it all. I work hard. I ain't walking. I ain't being lazy.
Sure.
No, I'm running to my spots. I'm trying to communicate. Hey, no problem. You need something? I got you. Hold on a second. Let's get this squared away. Talking to whoever I need to talk to. It could be the ball person or the person wiping the floor.
Yeah.
Every person is a part of this experience. And so that's, I think, my triple threat. I try to be professional, in my dress. I try to come in with the right kind of attitude. And then I try to be, as Shelly always say, I try to be present in the moment and really there, and not like, oh, man, it would be nice. I need to get some ribs. I need to stop by McHugh's. You know what?
Yeah.
I should go to Kiki's. They before they close. There's a play going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That stuff happens.
Yeah.
If we can find a way to try to fight that,
okay,
then you have the ability, I think, to give the game everything you have every time you step on the floor.
Man, shout out to you, man. Again, appreciate you for the communication, the help on my journey, because I was not who I am today when I started. I still that fiery guy coming out of college as well. But if I getting better at it through supporting other officials who also just talk to me or talk back, or also we talk offline. That's a big 100%. Thing too, right? Check in, what's good, or we meet up at different spots. But hey, what's good? Because we know it's not easy for anybody, man. So appreciate you, man. You heard it here first, man. 94 feet with Coach JT. Sport Barkley, look out for him this year, man. It's that time, so we both finna get busy, get cranking. We out.
For real.
Peace.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes,
thank you, man.
You are sitting down with the best. It's 94 feet, none more, none less. Started from the bottom, now I made it past the steps. But you gotta have a vision like, what's your triple threat? 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet with Coach JT. 94 feet.